today we are going to finally start getting into some reviews. And since this is my first one, hopefully the first of many reviews we're going to do, we're going to start off with one of the plugins I've been using a ton lately. You probably heard about it. I think this is actually like kind of almost a revolutionary type of product. I feel like this is kind of the way that WordPress is going, and what they've done here is really cool. So it's called Divi Cloud, and it's a plugin that you use with the Divi theme. And of course, we're going to be going in a lot more detail on that inside the review. But I kind of want to go over what the deal is with it, how I use it, what kind of stuff I've done with it, and some of the ups and downs of it. So we're just going to take a look through this plugin, and I'm going to give you my thoughts, and hopefully you'll find it useful. So let's dive right in. Alright, super excited to be reviewing this one today. Honestly, I use a ton of different web development related products, particularly WordPress products, and man, I've been wanting to do these reviews for so long, but it's just a matter of getting around to do it. So I thought, well, why not start off with one of my favorite plugins that I've been using lately. I think this is a really original idea, super cool what they've done here, and I just love using it, and I love the whole concept of it. So it's called Divi Cloud. You can grab it over here at diviunited.com. And basically what it does is what it says right here. You import pages into Divi theme or any WordPress theme that uses the Divi Builder plugin. So what you can do is, let's see, I guess this link doesn't work. Let's just see if we can take a look through some of the themes on here on their sales page. Basically what this is a plugin that you install on your site, and you connect via API, and then you get access to all these layouts, modules, sections, etc. So you'll see them all right here. These are some of the layouts. You can click on them to get a preview of them. Okay, see, and they're all really pretty nice layouts. You can see there's probably a lot of stuff you can do with this here. Very nice. And you know, there's just a ton of layouts like this, pages and pages of them. So this makes it really easy when you're developing a site to kind of give you a framework for a design. You know, if you're already developing a wedding site, for example, I mean, you got it practically already complete right here. They even got custom icons in there for you. Or if you just want to do a certain page, like if you need an idea for an about page, well, they got a ton of different about pages in here. So that's going to make it super easy for you to get some inspiration and get a head start on it. So that's what it looks like on the site. Now this plugin, you pay a $30 one-time fee, and then it's also a monthly fee ongoing. I use the agency plan, so I pay $20 a month for this. It's, in my opinion, well worth it. And basically what they do is they just keep pushing new layouts into the plugin. I've noticed usually the layouts seem like they come in at the beginning of the month, and you know, so it's pretty much a one-shot deal. It's not a huge amount of layouts, but it is at least a decent amount. So if you're doing less than like 5 sites a month, you're probably going to have, you know, more than enough to work with in here. Anyway, so that's that. Now I'm going to kind of show you how I use it on my site. You've probably seen some of my tutorials that I've used this in the past. I've already got it set up on my site, so what we're going to do here is I'm just going to create a new page. And we'll call this Divi Cloud Test. Okay, so we flip on the Divi Builder. As long as you've got Divi installed and Divi Cloud installed with the API key, you're ready to go. So you can load whole page layouts by going to Load from Library, click on the Divi Cloud tab, and you're going to see an interface similar to what I just showed you on their website. So you can see here, you can kind of just scroll through these, and they have them kind of bunched together like this. So you'll see the business, this new business template, and all the sub pages that go along with it are all kind of together here. And you can pop open any of these to preview them. Now I have noticed that the preview doesn't always look exactly the same as it does in the little thing. So you know, these aren't 100% accurate, but they're usually pretty close. This particular one is kind of a basic layout, but you know, it's pretty nice for just a basic business type of theme. And you know, if you just change a couple of colors around and some pictures and stuff, you can really customize this and make it look totally unique. So that's what I like about those. And here you got landing pages, home pages, all different kinds of stuff. And you can see all the way to 16 pages worth of stuff here. So pretty cool stuff. You do have filtering stuff here. You can filter between community and cloud layouts, categories, sets. So these are all kind of by different niches. And then there. And then you also got your own cloud. Now I've inadvertently clicked the save to cloud button a few times on my stuff, so I don't know if it actually does or not. Okay, I guess it looks like it does. Interesting. Crazy. Yeah, so anyway, I guess you can save stuff in here and then reuse your own stuff, which is kind of cool, actually. I never really thought about doing that before until just now, but so that's something you can definitely do. But anyway, so you got everything right in here in Divi Cloud. So say you find a page you want to use, all you really need to do is click the apply button, and that's going to pop in the entire page right into your Divi editor. So you've got everything in here. Now if you just click publish, I'll show you what you get. Now when you do a full page layout especially, there's usually external CSS that goes along with it, so you'll notice that when you first publish your page, you are going to get a notification like this. Well, I guess this one doesn't have it. Crazy. Okay. Well, as you can see, this one we just published and it popped right in. So already they're making some improvements over the what they had before. So yeah, this is great. It only took about 2 seconds, and we got a homepage for a restaurant or some kind of food type related thing right in there. If we want to clear that off, let's take a look and see if one of the older layouts. I just wanted to show you what the deal is with the external CSS and how that works, because actually that's the first one I've ever used that did not have it. So let me just see if we can find one of the older ones. Looks like they've added some new ones here. These are all a little bit more on the plain side, and the pagination isn't working as good as I would hope. That's weird. Okay, so you can see it's not a perfect system by any stretch. Okay, so let's see. They've got quite a few new things in here this month. Actually, I have not used a lot of those ones, but coming up here, I have used a lot of these. This recruitment one we've used, and this hedge fund one. I believe we've used this one as well. So let's let me go a little bit further here, because I wanted to show you another thing about this too. Let's see here. There's one kind of like a Tony Robbins knockoff that is a really good one to show you, but I don't know where it is. So go figure. Which is one of the things we're actually going to be getting into on this, but yeah. Whatever. All right. Well, let's just apply this one. I actually have used this one for a site, and I heavily customize it, but I really liked using it. So, okay, let's see here. Yep. So this one has external CSS you need to edit. So we're going to update the page, and then I'll show you how that looks. And you can see how easy it is. If you find you don't like a layout, you can easily swap it out and pop in a different one. So here you've got the whole page pretty much set up, and then all you'd have to do here is take this CSS, copy it, and then you can either put it in your page level CSS editor here, or you can go in Divi theme options and put it in there. Then once you've done that, okay, it looks like we're freezing up a little bit here. Once you've done that, then you can just delete this block, and I think that was only a media query anyway, so it should still work without it. But you can delete this block once you've got that added somewhere else, and then you're good to go. So super cool. You got a whole nice page here, and there's other pages that accompany this for the interior pages of the site. So again, that makes it super easy to put together a site like this, and you just got to go in and change the stuff to your liking. So you know, that's typically what I'll use it for. So when I'm designing a site and I want to use you know, this is especially useful if you don't really have a clear idea of what you want to do. You know, a lot of sites, like sometimes I have a really good inspiration for what I want to do, and other times I really just have no clue at all. So especially on the ones where you just really don't know, it's great to come here and just kind of look through these for ideas. For example, I did one for a pet boarding site, pet boarding company, about a month and a half ago, and I ended up using a template from here that was for a food related site, but I just liked the layout of it so much that I took it and you know, just kind of used that as my inspiration, and ended up twisting it and bending it around until I had a really cool looking pet site. So even though you might start off with something totally off topic, or you know, you might start off with one that looks like this and it might end up looking totally different, but it gives you a good starting point and some good inspiration to work with. So that's a really good thing about it. Now, one issue I've had with these in the past is there's like one like Tony Robbins kind of template in here that was really nice, but then once I installed it, there was a bunch of third-party plugins. So there would be like sections where like this would just be like a short code for like an owl slider plugin or some, you know, some shit like that, and so you wouldn't even be able to replicate that at all. You'd have to just, you know, set those slides up from scratch. Those don't come through, so those are not very useful. Another one was Revolution Slider. I saw in a couple of these, which, you know, if you're good with Revolution Slider, it's not going to be hard for you to redo your own, but if you don't have it or you're not used it before, you're not going to be able to replicate the same layout. So those ones are not, I don't think, very good to even be having in here, which is why maybe I didn't see it, because maybe they just took it out. Now, another cool thing that they have is they also have sections, okay? And unfortunately, I don't think they have nearly enough. And I don't think they've added any more since I signed up for the service. So if you go in here, you can just add sections. So they've got headers, testimonials, some really useful ones I've used as footers, and different, like, just different kind of sections, pricing tables, our team. These can all come in super handy, especially if you already have a layout you want and you just want to say throw in you know, our team section. I've done that a ton of times. I've used multiple of these. Or you just want to throw a footer with a contact form and address and stuff like that on your home page or whatever page you're working on. You can just come right in here, pop it in. Here's a frequently asked questions. So these are great. So say if we wanted to add this frequently asked questions, we would just click apply. In this case, you can't directly add it. You have to update the page after clicking apply, and then it'll become available in your library. So I kind of wish they didn't have that extra step, but it's not ever prevented me from using it. So if we go here now, since we did that, we can just go to add from library, and you'll see the FAQ section is right there. And if we refresh, we should see it here in a second. Just refresh the page here. And let's see if we can find where it is. Oh, maybe we didn't get it yet. Hold on. And there it is. Another thing I do not like about some of these, I think this is it right here. Yeah, so the thing I don't like about these is that they usually have fonts families added in here. So whenever you add one of these, it's just going to have whatever font was in the module, but as you can see, this is using the Comfortoa text, and it does not match up with the text we started out the site with. So a lot of times on these, when I install them, I end up having to go back and go through each of these and take the font off there. So if it were me, I would like it better if they didn't have these fonts selected, or if they put the fonts in a little code block, or you could just delete the code block if you don't want to use their fonts, which actually would probably be the better option. So anyway, that's kind of how that works. Now they do also have modules, but these really are nothing to speak of because they only have a couple and they've never really added any more since this started. So as you can see, they just have a couple of buttons here. Nothing very helpful at all. I've never used any of these, so it's kind of a bummer that they don't really do anything with those, but the idea is good. So that's pretty much how it works. Overall, I think this is a great plugin, and obviously you can see it's super fast way to get layouts in here, and most of the layouts are pretty good overall. So there's a lot of useful stuff here, and I've done a ton of sites using portions of these in different places, so it's well worth it. Now, let's talk about some of the negatives of it for a while, because there are some. The first one is that they don't have a ton of their own unique stuff. They have a decent amount, but a lot of the stuff, especially if you go back onto the older pages, is basically stuff that was already for free within a Divi community. So like some of the Geno Queerhouse layouts that I used for tutorials before and stuff like that, they just sucked in here and are using those as part of the deal, which is fine because they're good, but you can already get those for free anyway. So if you know how to get those, or if you already have some of them or whatever, then you don't even need this. You could always just go get it for free. So if you're doing not that many sites, then you might not find this as useful, because you could always just go and hunt these things down on some of the other Divi layout sites without having to actually go in here. Now they do have they have been coming out with more ones that at least to me appear to be proprietary. So it seems like every month or so there's usually at least a couple of these like full site worth of layouts on here, which is good. And actually just looking in here now, there's quite a few more than there had been last time I was in here. So and some of these are really nice, like this coding homepage is really cool. So it's good that they've added that, but I've really only been seeing them add maybe like 1 page worth a month or less in the like 3 or so months that I've had it. So for me, I can do like 10 plus sites a month, and if I'm just only working off the new stuff that they put in, after a couple of sites worth, I pretty much already used up all the new stuff that they've put in there, and I don't want to keep using it because it gets kind of repetitive. So I wish there was more stuff and more original stuff. That would definitely be a good thing. Another thing, like I said, is the fonts. The fonts are one of those things where, most of the time I'm actually going to probably want to change the fonts. Sometimes they have a really nice font scheme that I want to keep, which is fine, but otherwise, a lot of times that's kind of how you put your personal touch on a site, is by choosing typography. So it kind of sucks on some of these layouts where they have the fonts all plugged in, or even worse, they'll put it in the CSS. So you'll have to like open up the style sheet and go through a bunch of CSS and remove out the fonts, or else you won't be able to change them in the regular process of messing with typography in Divi. So I wish that they would kind of keep the fonts separate. I think that would really help make it a lot easier to use. But again, it's not a huge deal. So that's kind of a downside of it. And on the page layouts, that's about it. The only other thing I would say on that is the filtering sucks. It's really not very good at all. They've got, so you can filter it by like niche or whatever. So you've got like, you can filter it by animals, but a lot of times you're using kind of general niche, or say if you just want to do like filter by about pages or something like that, I would rather have a filter for different like page types, like filter by contact page, filter by landing pages, that kind of thing. Well, they do have a landing page one, so that's a bad example. But filter by home pages. Like maybe I just want to see all the different home page options they have in here. So I think that would be way better. So the filtering on here is actually, I think, one of the worst things, because it's really not that easy to go through all of these. Usually I kind of get worn out if I don't find something by like about the 6th page. I just quit. But that's okay. So that's that. Then on the these things, the sections, I love this feature so much, but I think they're also at the same time kind of blowing it because they have not added any new ones at all. And honestly, I think these are probably more useful than the page layouts. I use some section in almost every site that I do, and there's really not even that many in here, and they don't take that long to build, so I can't really understand why they don't add more. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I think that's really too bad. So I think this is a really underutilized feature of this plugin, and I would love to see this get built up a lot more. I think it would be well worth it for everybody, because this is probably one of the best parts of the thing. I don't really mind the fact that you have to like reload the page before you can plug it in, but I could live without that too. So I think that the sections are great, and I just wish they would build them up a little bit, and then maybe make the CSS a little bit easier to to like take out the fonts if you don't want the fonts and that kind of stuff. But those otherwise are great. And then the modules, I mean, I just don't know with these things. I don't know if they're even worth having, because all they just really have is these couple of buttons and stuff. So I don't know if they're ever going to do anything with this. I've never used it for anything. And so, it doesn't really make any difference to me one way or the other. But to me, it seems kind of dumb just to have it in there for just a couple of lame buttons. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much it. So you can see we in just a couple minutes we popped in here, we found a really nice layout and plugged it in. We even found another module, plugged that in. So you can see you got the font issue, but otherwise it's still we've got a great looking page here. We didn't hardly have to do anything. All you'd have to do is go in here and change some images and text around, and this thing would look first class. So super cool. Again, if you take a look at the site for the plugin, you're looking at about $20 a month plus a $30 one-time payment. Definitely well worth it. I hope they keep working on this plugin and adding stuff to it. Honestly, there's like so much about it I like, and so much that I don't think they've done yet. I almost kind of want to do my own kind of project like this, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Either way, I'll probably still continue paying for it and using this just because I have gotten a ton of value out of it, and I love the idea. I think this is, just to kind of talk about it at a higher level, I think this is kind of the way that WordPress is going. You see a lot of visual editor stuff lately, especially with like Visual Composer, all that kind of stuff. And that's, the way the sites are built, it's not so much a theme, but page by page layouts. I mean, you're gonna have your standardized header and footer in most sites, but other than that, the stuff that's between the header and footer, it can be totally different on a page by page basis. So you're not really working with a theme, you're just working with a layout builder. So you can basically build a whole site using different, you could use an about page layout from one set and a home page layout from one set and a contact page layout from another set. So you got layouts from 3 different sets, but you tie them all together with the same typography and the same header and the footer. So it's really the layouts that matter and not the overall theme itself. And I think that WordPress is kind of trending towards that. So I think these guys are onto something, and that's really creative, and I've just found it incredibly useful. So anyway, that's pretty much the end on this one. I definitely recommend you check it out, diviunited.com. Put a link below in the description. You can go there, check it out. It's definitely worth a try. Like I said, if you're building 5 sites a month and you use Divi for them, you'd be crazy not to have this plugin. It's a very good plugin, and I found it incredibly useful. So go check it out, and thanks for watching.